Good evening all. If you have ever owned a hatchback at some point, you will probably have encountered the issue of saggy struts and very weak struts. As they get old, they leak oil and then they become weak and then fall on top of your grandma's head. Unfortunately, that is the case with mine, and I have discovered it to the detriment of the back of my skull, but no worries, no loss of blood or anything. I have actually ordered some struts. I've got two of these Stabilis struts, which are about £30 each. They are not cheap, but they are cheaper than the original genuine ones, which you can still get from the dealership of Rimmer Brothers. I shouldn't really say that, but the truth is a lot of their prices are very much a monopoly based system. Because they're the only ones that offer these parts, they can charge what they want, and a lot of people pay that. I'm refusing to pay for some of their parts, but you know, I've had to go and get a really decent aftermarket brand, and they are an OEM manufacturer of tailgate struts, so I should have no problems. So I'll just show you what the actual issue is with the one strut. The other one is absolutely fine, but one of them has gone completely weak. So if I take you here now, lift up, and it's held its own. It's held its own. But really, honestly, I'm giving this an awful lot of effort to get to there. I mean, this is a big tailgate, but we don't have a spoiler, so it shouldn't be doing that. Whoa. Today it's playing ball. It's playing ball, but this is the one that's gone. That one hasn't, but we're still changing it, because if one's gone, in my experience with struts, suspension parts included, is the other side will be going very, very soon. But if you can see here, if the camera can actually focus in, there's just oil all around. It's not nice, and that's where the giveaway sign of which one is at fault if it just suddenly drops on your head. I won't give a live demonstration because it hurt the first time, but these were absolutely fine kind of when I first bought the car. But obviously with a lot of things that are standing still, the moment you start using them and you have a seal that's swelled up, then you'll just get oil leaks, and that's what's happened with this one. They are the originals. They are definitely the originals, both of them. So I'm going to show you how to change one side, and then the other side is the repeat procedure, and we'll see what difference they make. Take this down. I believe that these can actually break off, from what I've been told. And if anybody wants to know what this is, I got asked a few times at the Pride of Longbridge. It is a dehumidifier sack, and it has already, this has gained quite a bit of weight, so it has absorbed a lot of moisture. It's full of granules, and it's one of the ones you can actually reuse by putting it in a microwave or drying on a radiator to actually get rid of the moisture. So they're quite handy for what they're worth, and I prefer to have one velcro to the parcel shelf as it is. Anyway, enough distraction, on with the job. Now, the only thing that we have got is holding on the strut is we've got a ball joint that comes out here. So we've got a little like a little stud that comes out of the bodywork, and the ball joint just pops on, and the clip just makes sure it's secure and it can't fall off. The same on this one. We have a ball joint stud here, and we have this clip that goes all the way around, and we just need to prise the clip out and then we can pop it off. Now, I would advise one thing. If you're doing this alone, once you've taken one strut off, ideally the other side, even though that's a good strut, it is not strong enough to hold a tailgate. Tailgates are meant to be supported by two struts, so you will find it will come down the back of your neck. Now, I don't have one to hand. I'm just going to use my back, because I know that I'm not in a position where it would cause me pain. Just be aware that you're going to be holding that sort of weight on your back. It's not something I recommend if you've got a bad back. Then I would suggest a block of wood, probably standing from this point. Don't put it on the trim, it will scratch it, but put it on the carpet and then sort of having it leaning up. That would be ideal. But if you don't want to damage the trim, just have it leaning on your back as you're doing this, because once you've taken one off, that's what's going to happen. And it does go without saying, make sure you've got everything to hand when you're doing this job if you're doing it alone. If you do not have someone holding the tailgate or a block of wood like me, you've got to have everything to hand immediately, okay? So this is just for cleaning around here. I was unable to clean around here thoroughly, so I thought I'd give it a clean up as we go along as usual. But you will need a pick in order to pry out the clip, and you will need a pry bar of around this sort of size and around that sort of width, enough to just get it around it and just pry against the bodywork and pop it off the ball joint, because in my experience these can be quite stiff. Ideally take this one off first and then take that one off, but what I would suggest first is that we take the clips off. Now my new one does come with these clips, but ideally you just want to get your pick in here. It's quite difficult. There we go, got it all the way through, and then just pry the thing out, and it will come out, but just hold it because that's going to snap. You don't want to, if you haven't got replacement clips, you should do. If you've got a brand new strut, it will come with these clips. So just pry it out. Right, now that's off. Now that is in the release position. That is not providing any pressure on this joint. Now what you should be able to do is pop it off, but before we touch that we need to think about things. Let's get that clip off so we can make this as quick a transition as possible, because remember, as soon as we pop that one off or that one, you're going to have to support it. It can be very stiff, but just be patient. I've had to change positions. There we go, it's gone. That took about a minute of trying to apply pressure. They are really, really tight, these things. They are not easy to get out. There we go. Right, now that's released. Now it's squeaky bum time. Right, I have my new strut ready to hand. To go the same length. Perfect. Always check the length, and it is an absolute perfect fit. In fact, this is absolutely identical to the original one, including this line that comes here. I wonder whether this might be actually a genuine one. A Stabilis lift-o-matic is what it's called. Stabilis. Interesting. Now remember, I'm just using my head because this is probably going to come down on me, so let's just give it a crack. I've got my shoulder here. Bingo! Now that's actually okay on my shoulder, if you can see that. Now what I'd recommend is just clean the whole stud. There's a lot of muck on that stud, and there's a lot of muck that's actually got into here, so I'm going to just break the other one off now. Come on, there we go. Lovely, easy as you like. Now while I'm actually standing here, they are absolutely identical, apart from the actual markings. Well, we've discovered one thing. There are actually markings from the same company, Stab, with the cross. Well, isn't that a coincidence? So basically what I've done is bought genuine ones. These are made by the same company. There's no name on the bottom, there's just a letter sort of A, but these, yeah, they definitely have the same markings at the top. Isn't that a coincidence? Now I feel even more better about buying these. Just give the stud a bit of a clean, just make sure it's all gone. Lovely. just, yeah, that's ready to be clean. Now, what I did actually forget to tell you is you have kind of got to prise the clips off the ones you've got. So yeah, I've got to kind of just do it in situ, but you just pry them out exactly as you got the old ones out, the old one out, and just pop it on and push the clips in, and that is it. And as per typical, it started raining, so I better get a crack on. So we got the clips out, and then we make sure that we put it this way in. Remember, we got the strut going this way, so just pop it on. Okay. Should be able to push that in. Might take a bit of a push. There we go. Clip. Now I didn't put that strut in very cleanly there. There we go. Lovely. Just managed to pop it all the way in. I was a bit concerned it hadn't actually popped onto that joint there, but oh my goodness me, I can feel the strength. As soon as I click that into place and put that slightly into place, the whole thing just, look at this. I mean, I actually have to force it down. Wow. Okay, they sound like struts as well. When struts lose the gas, they don't have that sound anymore. They literally lose it. But if you listen to this carefully, oh, that's nice. And that's just one. Once I finish the other one, it'll be even better. But anyway, I am going to finish this episode here because it is starting to drizzle quite nastily. I've got another one to go on that side, but that is literally how you change your struts. It is a simple back to basics exercise. It is a video that has been done so many times before, but it has to be done because this is usually fixing and tinkering, and I love tinkering. Take care, guys. Done. Shame. 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 Shame.